Hello and welcome back to chapter 9 of the Living Story. Now, I wasn't expecting to do much for this one, but our internet kind of surprised us all by sneaking in a little bit of Living Story stuff here and there. But yeah, the main thrust of this release is the return of the Super Adventure Box, which you can see in front, which was a strange addition that we had back last April. It was kind of an April Fool's joke, but is actually quite an awesome platformer in its own right, and returns now with Tribulation mode included, which is the super hard mode that we've been promised for a long time. So a lot of people very excited about that. So yeah, let's take a look. The release came with a brand new update to the overworld for Super Adventure Box, and yeah, we get a parade of all our cast of characters here. Sure, they look sweet, but yeah, a bigger bunch of jerks you've never met. So I'll just go through the intro here. Yeah, like I say, Super Adventure Box came out last April. Classic story. Princess kidnapped. This is Lord Vanquish, our villain of the piece. We're not really sure of his motives, apart from standard still princess. We get awarded the pointy stick, which will be our tool of choice for most of the adventure. Yeah, so here we go. As I mentioned, there's three modes to Super Adventure Box. There's infantile mode, which you can see, which is helpful to the point of being condescending. Little arrows, hands showing you which way to go, even guides you around that rock safely. Normal mode, which is what we had last time. And then the brand new Tribulation mode, where death is everywhere. Seriously. Okay, so even on 1.1, which was just sort of wide open fields to start with, the ways, normal paths are blocked, and yeah, insta-death is everywhere. Flowers, you can't trust them. They explode. Yeah, every way you switch a turn, yeah, there's something waiting to get you. So, yeah, so you've got to think about it and head down paths that are not the normal way that you would like to go. That way lies death. So you've got to look around and try and find the usually the most circuitous way to get there. Once you get up on this tree, you can jump down here and you'll find this little machine that hands out balloons. You use those in Tribulation mode to activate your extra checkpoints that you wouldn't get in your normal modes. So yeah, it's quite terrifying in here. It's a really good addition to the game, but yeah, I mean, when you can't even expect rocks to stay put, you know you're in trouble. So yeah, just an example of what we've got. Infantile mode obviously makes things pretty easy. Like I say, almost condescending. Well, it is condescending. Normal mode, and then Tribulation mode. As you see, the even the helpful hands are out to get you. Yeah, monkeys make their return through all the levels in the first zone. They were everybody's most hated in the last release, but yeah, we've got a few more strong contenders now. As you see, yeah, Tribulation mode, the grass that was there is now deadly spikes. So you make your way around the outside. So as you see here in normal mode, jumping across the tree to tree. You got the shop down there, across the top of the platform. Then you jump down, make your way down along this corridor, up onto the platform there. Then you've got to make your way across the trees, jumping from bush to bush to bush, back up to here, then up on top, and then you jump from tree to tree, across the cliffs, and then finally get yourself down to the checkpoint. The reason you go that way, death is everywhere. Yeah, look, this mode's going to be unfamiliar to a lot of people. There's instant death and invisible blocks and things. You know, the whole goal of it is to figure out the safe way to go. Once you do that, it actually becomes, well, I'm not going to say easy, but you know, manageable. So even up here at the chest, you've got to make your way around. So as I said, you finish it off by sort of leaping from tree to tree. Yeah, this is just sort of a little intro guide and a little taste. I'm not going to go through the whole game, obviously. We'll get into the story stuff in a moment, but yeah, this is just a bit of a taste for people who may not have played it or are watching this video after it's gone away. For now, it'll be back. Yeah, so back into infantile mode. This corridor, which, yeah, is fine in the first two modes, but I can't even imagine how many deaths it's caused in the last sort of 10 days. Myself, I've sort of chalked up, I don't know, at least 100 deaths in this place. It's just nightmarish. So, as you see, in normal mode here, it's still pretty straightforward. You just sort of jump from platform to platform, get to the end, take care of the monkey. Not too bad. Oh god, here we go. So it's yeah, this corridor, just everything in here is yeah, deadly. Like I say, these ground pounding rocks are the big issue. As you see, they go up there and try and knock you off your feet. There's kind of a safe spot here, so if you can get to this point, you probably can catch your breath. But yeah, oh my god, so many deaths. Yeah. Anyway, it's good fun. It's just, yeah, you've just got to know what you're in for. Little tip, you can sort of edge your way across here, with the goal being if you can jump up onto that top platform immediately, you can pretty much scoot down there. I did see the developers do sort of a go forward, set off the far one, roll back, set off the near one, and then sort of make their way forward, but I find it's just easy to skip through. A couple of quick tips, just in case you do find your way here. Yeah, that's a good one to avoid, and yeah, in your excitement, it's always good to check where you're walking. Yeah, so once you get past the corridor, it's that's sort of the hardest part of World 1.1. Strongly recommend everybody gives this a go, even though yeah, it may reduce you to tears at some point. Just yeah, have a laugh and go along for the ride. World 2's also been fleshed out. We got a taste of it in the last update, but yeah, it's much bigger, grander. The puzzles are a lot more sort of involved. It's got Frogger. I mean, that's pretty cool. You've got this amazing waterfall sort of jump sequence. It's very cool. A lot more variety. We've got sort of this Asian themed level, and then the 2.3 is the ice themed level. As I've said, I don't think we were expecting much living story progression with this update, so it was a bit of a surprise when we found some new characters in Radisson, and ArenaNet put up a short story called Shadowbox. It tells the story just after Moto has left his crew. Now, as always, I'm going to recommend that you actually read the ArenaNet text itself. This is just my summary of events, so it might not be 100% accurate, as what they've done is they've made the story deliberately quite vague, but this will give us something to start with. For 2 years, Moto, Yavi, Keto and the rest of the crew all worked together on the original Adventure Box. Now, Yavi still thinks that was a worthwhile project, but it had some undesirable after effects which they don't really talk about. While Yavi was doing a presentation, something happened and it seems that Moto acted quite badly. At another time, Moto supposedly pulled a prank on the crew, sabotaging a project, and that was the final straw for them and they kicked him out. When Moto left, he was deflated. He had no lab, he had no money, no inventions, no crew. He seemed quite depressed about the whole thing. He had differences with his crew. They described him as an unorthodox visionary. It seems his ideas were grander than what the crew could handle, and yeah, they had trouble keeping up with him. So that doesn't really mesh. I mean, he seemed to enjoy working with the crew. He seems to have had a relationship with Yavi of some kind. And it doesn't really mesh with disrupting presentations, pulling pranks, and yeah, he seemed quite angry that they had kicked him out. While he's on his own, Moto does show a bit of a vindictive streak when he frames a street vendor who had treated him badly. And then while he's building the Super Adventure Box, he draws upon his fear, his pride, and his anger to drive the development, and becomes quite bitter towards the ex-crew. Once he's finished building the Super Adventure Box, he falls asleep, so he doesn't get a chance to test it. He doesn't get a chance to finish polishing the characters. So when he boots it up and demos it for the financier, he's quite surprised that the princess actually looks a lot like Yavi. During the first presentation, everything goes good, but he does notice, just for a flickering instance, there's a shadow that appears behind the princess, which weirdly looks a lot like himself. When he blinks, it's gone. After Moto left, the crew moved on to its next project, the intravenous intelligizer, which was a bit of a disaster without him. But it did provide enough results to move on to the next project, the Somno Scholar, which is what we'll find in the centre of this room. Keto's pretty mad since he left. He's quite emotional, so was Nim. Yavi, strangely, seems like she should be the one that should be the most hurt, but she's actually very logical, she's very controlled, and that might be down to whatever their history is. She may be a little bit more forgiving. Keto, not so much, and he just suspects that Moto is back there trying to taunt them. And to be fair, he's right. The crew have an interesting conversation where Keto asks if Moto knows what he's done. It seems like they might be aware of some consequences of creating the Super Adventure Box, which Moto himself might not be conscious of. The box itself was designed as a training tool, education tool, and so yeah, players have been making their way through it for the last couple of weeks. When players complete World 2, you get a sneak peek at World 3. Inside, a genie says he will tell us a secret that Moto won't. To win the Super Adventure Box, we must defeat the true enemy's machine, and he sends us out to sabotage the Somno Scholar, which means that he thinks the ex-crew is the true enemy of someone. Now, the interesting thing here is the Game Genie was a cheat device back for the SNES and the Mega Drive, and the Konami code, which you can see on the rock there, is one of the most famous cheats, and that's what gets us into the secret lab of the former crew. Now, that could just be a nod and a wink to the 16-bit era, or possibly it's an allusion to the Super Adventure Box has been cracked or hacked by someone. If we do as the genie instructed, we go back up to the lab and use the code entered to access the secret lab. Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA. Gets us inside, then we sabotage the Somno Scholar, and from the next room we can watch on as the experiment takes place.
The sublattice is aligned, the refracting core is nominal, and the data slipstream is at 200 units per pulse. Phase 1, complete. Just let me get tethered in and we're ready to go.
Wart, Nimb, maintain the oscillations and make sure the flux lines remain free and clear.
We don't need those. We'll be fine.
What did I teach you? Always have a flux line so your experiment will be fine. Wart, watch that line. Keto, are you ready?
To be the next SNAP prize winner? Absolutely.
One step at a time. Starting the power up for phase 2.
So relaxing. So much knowledge.
Subject is in pre-sleep state. Neural connection is tethered to the data slipstream. Moving to phase 3. Phase 3 is a go. Full amplification.
Waffles exist in every dimension. I can do the funky moa. The char stole every towel. I am the color orange.
Start initiating the shutdown protocol.
My head. What's happening? What's going on?
Just hold still. We're containing a mysterious surge. Nimb, Wart, dissipate the aether flow along the tertiary circuit. All right, disengage Keto.
Oh, I feel like someone shoved too many books in my brain. Stupid books. Books with pictures in them. I thought I had everything perfect. I can't believe I fouled this up so badly.
Stay calm. We'll get to the bottom of this.
By the way, what's a waffle? He did it. I know he did.
Look at the facts. Look at what you can observe and analyze.
I primed the data strata, balanced the flow inhibitors, and set the feedback relays to nominal. It should have worked.
It should have, but there was a malfunction.
He did it.
A malfunction. Let's find it and sort it before you go sparking around like a loose transistor. Here, look at this.
I can't believe I missed it.
Well, it was subtle. You'd have to know to look for it.
Didn't he pull a prank exactly like this before he was expelled from the crew?
Yes. Yes, he did.
Still don't believe he did it?
He has witnesses. None of the peacemakers I talked to saw him leave the promenade.
You asked me to observe and analyze. Well, this is my analysis. He did it. Somehow.
So yeah, Kiddo's quite positive it was Moto, as this is just what happened the last time when they kicked him out. Since we did all the legwork, Moto has an alibi. He was on the promenade the whole time.
I absolutely am.
When we speak to Moto, however, he talks to us like we're crazy and has no idea about what we're saying. The genie seemed to infer that they weren't working together either, so maybe they're not. So yeah, where does that leave us? We have a shadow inside the box, and the story was called Shadow Box, so something's going on with the Super Adventure Box that should be a concern. The characters seem to have been polished up by someone, something other than Moto. He doesn't remember doing that. The princess looks like Moto's former crewmate and possible crush, but yeah, like I say, he didn't do that, at least consciously. You know, who knows if he was doing a little bit of sleep coding. The crew are aware of some consequences of using the Super Adventure Box, or at least the original Adventure Box, but are looking to use the original to create a variation on it and progress the testing of the Somno Scholar. We've got 2 allusions to cheats and hacks. That led us to the machine which we sabotage. Supposedly belongs to the true enemy, although why they would be the true enemy is anyone's guess. Yeah, I mean, if you take things literally, I feel like Moto's probably not involved at this point, and he's being set up by someone. But yeah, we'll see. It just doesn't make sense why he would disrupt and sabotage learning experiments. I mean, he got on okay with the crew, I think. But yeah, we don't really know what the original Adventure Box did. So is this just a momentary diversion, or is this actually connected to the rest of the living story? About a year ago we learned that Scarlet had altered some devices in Radisson when she was there with the inquest. Now that was a bit of a clunky addition to her short story, seemed quite out of place. But it might explain now how the original Adventure Box has developed the unexpected after effects, and maybe why Moto and the crew both seemed angry about the breakup. Perhaps that change was designed to alter personalities and led to Moto's behaviour, or maybe the sabotage framed Moto and then he lashed out. There are a few gaps in when things happen, so rough guesses is the best that we've got right now. The last update also saw the introduction of account-wide magic find, which was awesome. Got it off gear and spread it across all of your characters. We saw the introduction of level 500 crafting, which allows for the creation of ascended weapons. So that's quite cool. It's got everybody busy and given the trading post a nice shake-up. We also got upgrades to the most of the legendary weapons, which I'm personally very pleased with, so thank you to ArenaNet for that. Super Adventure Box till the 2nd of October, and hopefully you get in and check it out, and hopefully come back, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, bye.